There is an important and pressing question that John the Baptist needs answered for himself this morning in the gospel. Are you the one, or should we wait for another? And in a certain sense, it's kind of perplexing that John would even ask this question, because certainly he knows the Lord. He baptized him. He'd heard of him. He knew him. They were cousins, and so they would have certainly met. They would have spoken. He would have heard about Jesus, about his ministry. But here he is in prison. And I would suggest to you that the reason that this question is coming up is because John knows that he's about to lose his life. So he wants to know, are you the one? Or should we be waiting for another? You see, John's in prison for a very particular reason. He wasn't told that he couldn't talk about God. He wasn't even told that he couldn't preach about Jesus. John is in prison for speaking the truth. Herod, it isn't right that you have your brother's wife. And there were many people back then, as there are today, who wanted to silence the truth. They wanted to silence the truth. And so this question arises in John's heart and in his mind. And you know, there's nothing lukewarm about John the Baptist. We're told that in the gospel. Jesus even acknowledges that in the gospel. What did you go out to the desert to see? Someone like a reed swayed in the wind? John's not swayed by the temptation of creature worldly comforts. Nor is he swayed the other way by fear of suffering or death. John stands straight. And he stands for the truth. But this question, are you the one, or should we be waiting for another, is important to him, and it would be important to anyone depending on how much skin you have in the game. Depending on how much skin you have in the game. You see, when you put everything in, when you're all in, that's an important question. But if you're lukewarm, or you have no faith at all, it doesn't matter whether Jesus is the one or someone else, for that matter, is the one. It doesn't matter. So this question, are you the one, is important to those who have skin in the game. So I want you to imagine that you and I are in prison. And we've been put there because we stand for the truth. And you know, there are those people out there today who would like to silence those of us who stand for the truth. And if silencing us means putting us in prison, so be it, as far as they're concerned. And so I want you to imagine yourselves, okay, standing fast for the truth and hearing things like this. Religious freedoms are being attacked and eroding. Christians the world over are being mocked, marginalized, and martyred. A chapel in a Catholic hospital in Ireland is being closed and being turned into an interdenominational prayer room. The Mount Soledad Memorial Veterans Cross has been ordered by a federal judge to be taken down. And atheists have rented a billboard in Times Square with bright neon lights that says, "Who needs Christ in Christmas?" with the word Christ X'd out, and at the bottom, "No one," with a big exclamation point. These were all headlines this past week. in some newspaper or on the internet somewhere. This is not made up stuff. This is happening. And so if you were in prison and you heard these things, would you be inclined to ask the same question? Would you be inclined to want to know, are you the one, or should we be waiting for somebody else? Because truly, didn't the Messiah, did not the Savior come to save us and free us from these things? And so depending on what our understanding of the Messiah is and who he is, those questions arise. But we rejoice in the knowledge, the saving knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ. And we rejoice because for us, he is the one. And because he is the one, we have skin in the game. And I would suggest to you that it's only then, once you have made the choice for Christ, that you can rejoice, that you can have hope. Because as the second reading tells us, it is only then that we can be patient. We can be patient and wait for the truth to continue to unfold and to be revealed to us. No, John is not a bad guy for asking that question. Are you the one? But it suggests something about his disposition and about his commitment and about his heart. As I said, there is nothing lukewarm about John the Baptist. He's all in. He's got skin in the game. But it's also a sign for us that if those questions don't arise in our hearts, in other people's hearts, can we question how much commitment there is in me? Not necessarily others, but in me. We rejoice. Gaudete Sunday. Rejoice Sunday. That even though there's a foot of snow, we can be patient because we know that Jesus Christ is Lord. Are you the one? Or should we be waiting for someone else?